Welcome to the Anthology video training series. My name is Cole and I will be walking you through the process of upgrading your visual Anthology software. This process is fairly straightforward and can be completed with minimal effort. Just a few housekeeping notes before we begin. You must do this during a period where you will not need to use Anthology. This process can take up to 30 minutes and you will not be able to use the Anthology program during this time. There are four major steps which I will walk you through today. The first is performing a quick backup. The second is downloading the Anthology software. The third is running the actual installer. And lastly is allowing the program to do a reindex. Just going over to our Anthology software here. The first step we're going to do is to create a quick backup. And to do this, we go under Tools and select Quick Backup. Already this checkbox for copy open files is selected, but if it is not selected, please check that box and then click F12 Run. This process typically takes just a couple of minutes, not normally more than 5, but depending on your system, it can take longer. I always like to say budget about 30 minutes for this process, 5 of which is dedicated to the quick backup process. So I'm going to just let this finish. It's almost done here. Alright, once the quick backup is completed, it'll automatically close the quick backup software, which is what we want it to do. That means it was completed successfully. For the rest of the process, we actually need to close Anthology, and you need to ensure that Anthology is closed on every other workstation, any other place that you have Anthology installed. So we're going to go ahead and close Anthology here. So the second step is going to be to download the software. Now I have already logged in to the Anthology customer zone. You'd simply do this by going to anthology.com, clicking on the support button, and then clicking on the downloads button. Oh, I guess it timed out for me, so. Alright, so once we have logged in, we've gotten into the downloads area, you're going to want to download the most current release. And usually these are filed right up at the top. Download filed Anthology 8.0.224, which is the current version. So we're going to go ahead and click download on this. And if you're using Internet Explorer, it's going to ask if you want to run or save. And we always want to save. So normally this just takes, as you can see, about 30 seconds. Once this is finished, we're going to click the button that says Open Folder, which will bring us into our Downloads folder. And I'm going to double click on this to run the software. You'll get a message saying, do you want to run this file? And of course we do, obviously. We downloaded it. And again, you're going to get another prompt that's going to say, do you want to allow this program to make changes to your computer? Again, the answer is yes to this question. Next, we get into the Setup Visual Anthology wizard. And it just basically goes through it. It'll install Visual Anthology 8 on your computer. Go ahead and click Next. Since this is the first computer that we're upgrading, we're going to use a server standalone. Go ahead and click Next. This is your just run-of-the-mill end user license agreement, which you accept in order to use the software. Go ahead and click Next. If you call Anthology to get the password for the version, this is where you would punch this in. You can get this by calling Anthology at 1-800-819-0095, extension 104, and just simply say that you're looking to upgrade the Anthology software and are looking for the password. You can also email support@anthology.com with the same message, and we can email you back the password. So once you punch in the password there, you go ahead and click Next. You'll get this just generic message about closing all open programs. Go ahead and click Next. It'll ask you where you want to put this. We're actually upgrading Anthology 7.4.292. That's where I have it installed, but on your computer it'll probably just say Anthology. Next. This is where it'll ask if you want to do any additional tasks, like create a desktop icon or a quick launch icon. We already have a desktop icon, so we're not going to create another one. And the quick launch icon is what would be nested under the start menu if you wanted to do that. Most of the time it's not necessary if you've been using Anthology, so we're just going to go ahead and click Next. It'll just give you a summary of what we're going to do. Go ahead and click Install. This is actually the quickest part of the process. Usually only takes about a minute, two to go through the installer. We're going to just let it finish up here. You can see it's just upgrading common files, blah, blah, blah. A bunch of different operations. Once it's completed, it'll give you a message saying, you're ready to continue. Click next, and then go ahead and click finish. So the last and final step is you're going to let the program re-index, and that'll automatically happen as soon as you open Anthology. Now it's important to note that this will happen because you won't be able to use the program right away, and also you don't want to try to open up the program on another station while this process is being done, because you can end up in a situation where the workstation is not upgraded to the most recent version, which will cause issues. Now, I have a really small database, so it doesn't take very long for me to do the reindex. That's just based on the size of your database. So if you have a larger database, it will take longer, significantly longer. And if you're using Windows XP, it'll take even longer still. And that's why we say about 30 minutes to run the process. So one of the new features we added in version 8 is that you'll get these system warnings about certain processes that have not been ran. In this case, the database reindex hasn't been run for 7 days. Actually, on my system, it's probably been a lot longer than that, but that's okay in my case. Though in your case, you want to make sure you run this. I believe this message will pop up every time, the first time you open Anthology, once you've upgraded to version 8, because it doesn't have that reference built in yet. So you can go ahead and click OK on this. This is a message that's not applicable to your system because I'm in testing mode, because I don't want to actually run credit cards. And that's it. Then you're done. Your Anthology is now running version 8.0.224, which you can see right up here. And that's pretty much it. Everything else is all the same. There have been some changes and additions, which you can find if you go back to your Anthology. There's the version changes and additions PDF that you can download and read through. That'll go through everything involved in what was changed in the current version. So just a couple of final notes on this subject. When you run the process on your workstations, the process is identical, with the exception of the quick backup and the reindex. You only need to do a quick backup and reindex once, but when you go to the workstations, you're just going to log into the software, or log into the website, download the software, run the software as a workstation, as you saw on that list, and that's it. Pretty much straightforward. So no need to reindex multiple times. So that was upgrading the Anthology program to the current version. This applies to all versions of Anthology that are coming out. So even though this is focused on 8.0.224, it'll also apply to the newer versions that are coming out every day. And if you do have questions or have trouble with any of these processes, feel free to give Anthology support a call at 1-800-819-0095, extension 104, or emailing us at support@anthology.com. Thanks for watching.